I'm Mark Monroe, a member of the SAIMM Diversity and Inclusion Committee. We are proud to introduce Voices of Change, a diversity and inclusion podcast series featured on The Crucible, the South African Institute of Mining Metallurgy's official podcast platform. The series creates a space for meaningful conversations that challenge bias, amplify underrepresented voices, and drive positive change across the mining and metallurgy sector. Through Voices of Change, we engage with industry professionals, leaders, and stakeholders to explore topics such as diversity, inclusion, belonging, equity, leadership, and workplace culture. The aim is to foster awareness, encourage dialogue, and support a more inclusive and progressive minerals industry. As an industry, we have an opportunity to create environments where individuals feel seen, valued, and empowered to contribute. This platform allows us to share experiences, highlight both challenges and opportunities, and promote knowledge sharing across the sector. The series started in August 2025 by introducing the Reimagine and Diversity Inclusion Committee and the vision driving this work forward. I encourage you to stay tuned to SAIMM communication platforms and listen to Voices of Change on The Crucible as we continue to share conversations that contribute to meaningful and sustainable transformation.
Hi, I am Ntati Monet, a member of the SAIMM Diversity and Inclusion Committee, as well as the podcast committee who looks after the SAIMM podcast channel, The Crucible. In the mineral industry, we often talk about extracting value from the ground, but the most untapped resource in our sector isn't under the earth. It's the collective intelligence of our people. We are excited to launch Voices of Change, a diversity and inclusion podcast series on The Crucible. We aren't launching this series just to talk about diversity. We're launching it to drive innovation. When we challenge bias and amplify underrepresented voices, we aren't just doing what's right, we are doing what's smart. A more inclusive sector is a more resilient one. It's a sector that solves technical problems faster and adapts to global market shifts with more agility. By tuning in, you aren't just listening to a conversation, you're engaging in a roadmap for transformation. We're exploring how leadership and workplace culture directly impact our bottom line and our ability to lead the global energy transition. If you are committed to building a progressive, high-performing sector, this is where the work begins. That's why we are so incredibly excited to finally launch this series. Voices of Change isn't just a podcast, it's a call to action. We are looking for participation from every corner of the sector. Your insights are the fuel for the innovation we discuss here. We encourage everyone in the industry to not just listen, but to participate, share your stories, and help us shape these dialogues.
Hi, I'm Connie Chijara, a member of the SAIMM Diversity and Inclusion Committee, as well as the podcast committee, who look after the SAIMM podcast channel, The Crucible. We're excited to launch Voices of Change, which is a diversity and inclusion podcast series on The Crucible. In every episode, we'll move beyond the statistics to the stories that shape our industry. We're creating a platform where professionals feel seen and valued, not as a checkbox, but as an essential contributor to our collective success. The value of this podcast lies in its transparency. We're tackling the very difficult conversations around equity and belonging because that's how you build long-term commitment. If we want to see the next generation of engineers stay and lead, they need to see a sector that is willing to reimagine itself. Join us as we bridge the gap between where the industry is today and where it needs to be tomorrow. We are absolutely thrilled to be launching this series today. It represents a major milestone in how we communicate within the SAIMM community. But for this to truly be a voice of change, it needs to start with your voice. So we're encouraging everyone, from students who are starting their journey to the veterans that have been in the industry for years, to step forward and participate.
Hi, my name is Mbali Mutanyane. I am a member of SAIMM's Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Through Voices of Change, we engage with industry professionals, leaders, and stakeholders to explore topics such as diversity, inclusion, belonging, equity, leadership, workplace culture, and transformation within the minerals industry. The aim is to foster awareness, encourage dialogue, and support collaborative action towards a more inclusive and progressive sector.